sisi tadi. Misalnya di Bolivia gitu ada monyet atau simpanse yang diakui sebagai subjek hukum. Kemudian di India sungai-sungai juga diakui sebagai subjek hukum. Tapi tujuan pemberian subjek hukum oleh status subjek hukum oleh pengadilan itu lebih kepada untuk memberikan perlindungan kepada ya tadi monyet atau sungai-sungai tadi dari efek-efek kerusakan yang mungkin mengancam seperti itu. Sekarang kalau bicara AI, apakah kecerdasan buatan ini sudah cukup dekat dengan manusia, mengingat kemampuannya untuk memutuskan gitu ya dan seterusnya. Tapi menurut Profesor Stefan Koos, dia hanya program sebenarnya, dia tidak cukup layak untuk disebut sebagai sebuah entitas. Mirip seperti botol gitu ya, mirip seperti botol dan benda-benda mati lainnya, dia hanya berjalan karena dia diprogram saja.
So if we want to have a technical person as a legal entity, then the legislators must do it in the fiction. Then they must make a law which says legal entities should be for pragmatical reason, technical person or artificial intelligence should be for pragmatical reason legal entities. And I would like to propose you or to present you one way which is already very realistic. And if you have a treaty with United States about acceptance of United States companies in the territory of Indonesia, it would be even very dangerous for you. For Germany it is already dangerous because in the United States corporation law there is a possibility to make a legal entity of artificial intelligence by using the limited of the state of Delaware.
Ya, jadi kalaupun harus memberikan status subjek hukum kepada kecerdasan buatan, harusnya mereka diakui hanya sebatas sebagai entitas teknis saja, seperti itu. Jadi tidak sama dengan hak-hak dan kewajiban yang melekat pada subjek hukum lainnya. Dia memberikan contoh jika misal ini ada situasi yang cukup berbahaya. Jadi contoh misalnya kalau kita punya perjanjian dengan negara Amerika Serikat, seperti Jerman punya perjanjian ya bilateral sama Amerika Serikat, yang isi perjanjiannya itu adalah bahwa kalau di hukum Amerika itu sudah diakui, sudah memungkinkan di hukum perusahaan itu sudah dimungkinkan untuk mengakui kecerdasan buatan sebagai subjek hukum. Dia mengambil contoh di negara bagian Delaware. Delaware itu negara bagian nomor 2 terkecil di Amerika. Disitulah bermukim banyak perusahaan-perusahaan yang berbasis kecerdasan buatan kayak Google, Apple, dan seterusnya.
In Delaware, you can found a limited with one person or two person, of course, also. And this limited can have the purpose follow the will of an artificial intelligence algorithm. The purpose of the company is follow the will of the artificial intelligence. Later, the founders of that company go out of that company, and the limited of the state of Delaware is a no man's limited, a no man's company. This is possible in this company law of this state. So we have a company, a limited company with limited liability, with the purpose to follow the will of a certain algorithm without any control of a human being in this company. This company is still existence as a no man's company.
Di Delaware tuh banyak berdiri perusahaan-perusahaan yang hampir sepenuhnya dikendalikan oleh algoritma, oleh program. Jadi ini disebutnya no man company, perusahaan tanpa manusia. Karena perusahaan itu diprogram untuk menjalankan hampir semua aktivitasnya secara mandiri tanpa ada campur tangan manusia. Perusahaan yang seperti ini justru melepaskan diri, justru yang pendiri perusahaannya yang mundur, dan dialah yang tunduk pada kehendak dari kecerdasan buatan. Jadi manusianya yang diatur sama kecerdasan buatan.
At least in the German legal situation, we have the situation that we have a bilateral contract with the United States, in which we must accept the founded, in United States law, valid founded companies in our territory, and the United States is accepting German companies in their territory. This means this company, this no man's company, artificial intelligence company, which is factually a technical person, because it's only the will of the algorithm leading this company, must theoretically be accepted in the German territory. If not, the limit of public order. Yeah, so we don't have to accept something which is against our public order, and we must think about, should we accept that or not? Is it against public order? And for public order, the problem, this company has no control. And what we accept in our territory must be controllable. If there is no control, we give the order of our law to code decisions, as I mentioned in the beginning, to moralist decisions of non-controllable entities. And this is why I personally think we cannot accept the conflict of law decision to accept this Nomad's artificial intelligence company in German territory.
Kalau di Jerman masalah yang muncul adalah Jerman dengan Amerika punya perjanjian bilateral yang saya ceritakan tadi. Jadi perusahaan yang misalnya berasal dari Amerika terus berdiri di Jerman itu boleh diberlakukan dan diperlakukan sebagaimana ia di negara asalnya. Begitu juga sebaliknya, perusahaan yang dari Jerman ketika dia berdiri di Amerika dia boleh bawa hukum, aturan dan seterusnya yang berlaku di Jerman. Artinya lagi, berarti perusahaan-perusahaan Amerika yang berdiri dan berjalan di Jerman itu boleh menggunakan artificial intelligence penuh, gitu, kecerdasan buatan penuh. Jadi di Jerman harus mau menerima keberadaan subjek hukum baru yang berasal dari perusahaan Amerika tersebut. Padahal menurut hukum Jerman sendiri, kecerdasan buatan itu bukan subjek hukum, tidak diakui sebagai subjek hukum, melainkan hanya sebagai technical entity atau entitas teknis saja. Gitu. Tapi untuk sedikit mangkir atau keluar dari bunyi perjanjian bilateral itu, pemerintah Jerman menggunakan alasan ketertiban umum. Jadi boleh sebuah aturan, sebuah kontrak dinafikan keberadaannya jika dia tidak bersesuaian dengan kepentingan atau ketertiban umum bagi masyarakat Jerman.
So the main problems of this is what I mentioned in the beginning, control and assets. Because this limited has no assets. And how the assets come from, where the assets come from, and there is no control. So we have a lot of following problem out of that. How we should ensure control of this artificial intelligence entity. This is a question of legal philosophy and of legal ethic. Is it ethical to accept legal entities acting in the market without soul, without moral? This is one question. And where come the liability assets from? Now, the control aspect, I want to demonstrate you in a practical example of this, what I mentioned before in the economy law. If you see the antitrust law, then we have normally the problem that companies maybe act concerted and then harm the market and harm the freedom of the market and harm the competition. So, if I have a company and you have a company and we make agreement about prices and we have more or less a duopoly, then the prices are not free and that is harming the interest of the consumers. What if these one-man entities of artificial intelligence make pricing agreements, yeah? They compare the prices automatically by the algorithm and then fixing the prices in automatical actions in the market. How we can control this if the artificial intelligence entity have no moral and is no legal entity, legal person, and how we control this if there is no control? Is this behavior and does the antitrust law really control this? Can we grab that with antitrust law? This is a big problem. It makes a lot of trouble and this is already actual because we discussed exactly this problem in German antitrust law in a moment. How we can handle antitrust activities or how we can antitrust activities, competition limiting activities of artificial intelligence algorithms which are used by companies.
Pertanyaan berikutnya ini sedikit filosofis begitu ya. Misalnya dalam konteks hukum ekonomi, bisakah kita menerima masuknya ke dalam pasar entitas atau subjek hukum yang sesungguhnya tidak berjiwa seperti kecerdasan buatan? Ambil contoh misalnya dalam hukum persekongkolan ya. Kita tahu bahwa yang dimasukkan sebagai persekongkolan harga, misalnya ada beberapa pengusaha yang secara sengaja mengendalikan harga di dalam pasar begitu. Tapi bagaimana jika yang melakukannya ini adalah kecerdasan buatan? Dia dengan algoritmenya, dengan ilmu programnya, kemudian dia membuat statistik harga gitu ya, sehingga dia pada titik tertentu dia membuat perbandingan harga dan harga inilah yang disepakati oleh bersama dengan seluruh pesaingnya. Bagaimana dapatkah kita dengan hukum persekongkolan kita menghukum atau mengambil tindakan terhadap perbuatan si kecerdasan buatan ini yang sebenarnya dia secara hukum tidak diakui sebagai subjek hukum?
The second main problem, the asset for the liability, can be solved maybe with funding systems. So it can be that the programmer or the producer of machines using artificial intelligence must give a part of the price for the selling of this machine to some certain public fund, and this public fund is giving the assets for the liability of damages done by artificial intelligence. But this is not yet existing. So in the moment, for the time being, we could not accept these entities in our market.
Berikutnya soal pertanggungjawaban. Untuk bagaimana caranya seumpama terjadi kerugian yang diakibatkan oleh tindakan persenggolan harga misalnya yang dilakukan oleh kecerdasan buatan atau program-program komputer tadi. Bagaimana cara mempertanggungjawabkannya? Dia kemudian Prof. Stefan Koos bilang mungkin bisa lewat funding gitu ya. Dari sekian persen keuntungan yang diperoleh oleh perusahaan itu dia harus alokasikan, disimpan mungkin oleh NGO atau LSM yang nantinya akan digunakan untuk membayar kerugian di tengah masyarakat akibat tindakan dari kecerdasan buatan tersebut.
So for the time being, if we don't want to make a personification, we have only one opportunity to do that. For example, in cars, we can see the car as the whole system which is implementing AI, and if I use a car and I cause a damage with the car, may it be by the decision of the artificial intelligence, then I must be liable as a person, as the one who used the car for the damage done. Even if I'm not guilty because the artificial intelligence overruled me, I must be the one who is responsible because I have the opportunity and I have the good aspect of using this car in the market, and so I must be the one who is paying for the damage without guilt. This is a momentarily only way to handle that problem.
Ya, jadi kalau kita sepakat kita tidak mau memberikan pengakuan terhadap kecerdasan buatan sebagai entitas hukum, maka solusinya ada tanggung jawab, itu harus ada yang menanggung. Maka misalnya contoh mobil yang ditanami kecerdasan buatan yang bisa nyetir sendiri begitu. Saya sebagai pemilik mobil harus bisa bertanggung jawab terhadap tindakan kecerdasan buatan tersebut. Seumpama dia merugikan orang lain, maka itu bukan karena kecerdasan buatannya, tapi karena saya sebagai orang yang atau pemilik dari kecerdasan buatan tersebut.
The Vienna Convention on Autonomous Driving, which is not ratified by Indonesia and not signed by the United States and China, but ratified by Germany and already law in Germany, says that every autonomous car, every autonomous driving vehicle in the traffic must be, in the end, controlled by a human. So even if there's autonomous artificial intelligence system implemented in the car, driving the car automatically, there must be always, in the end, a human being be able to control the action of these cars. This shows the problem, because in this Vienna Convention is already seen that the problem will be that the artificial intelligence could overrule the human being, and then the human being could say, why I am responsible for that. Yeah. So even if I'm forced, if I'm forced to buy a car only with AI, I cannot choose buy a car without that or with that. If every car has AI implemented and no one can choose he want to drive alone, then how we can make the human responsible for the acting of the AI? That is why we need a solution for this legal ethic problem.
Jadi untuk menjawab pertanyaan legal etik itu salah satu perjanjian atau convention yang sudah disahkan namanya Vienna Convention, tapi tidak diratifikasi oleh Indonesia, tidak juga oleh Amerika. Pemerintah Jerman meratifikasi. Ini soal mobil-mobil otomatis ya. Jadi bunyi konvensinya itu adalah bahwa setiap mobil-mobil otomatis yang di dalamnya ditanami komputer cerdas, kita menyebutnya, itu pada akhirnya harus bisa dikendalikan oleh manusia. Jadi harus ada kendali manusia di dalamnya. Jika tidak, dia tidak bisa beroperasi di Jerman, begitu bunyinya. Kenapa begitu? Ini untuk memudahkan menunjuk siapa yang bertanggung jawab, gitu. Karena walaupun misalnya semua tidak ada pilihan lain, bahwa kita hanya boleh yang pilihan di pasar itu cuma ada mobil berkecerdasan buatan tadi, tapi tetap bahwa mobil itu atau kecerdasan buatan itu kendalinya tidak boleh di atas manusia. Jadi tidak boleh dibalik, bukan kecerdasan buatannya yang mengendalikan manusia, tapi manusia yang mengendalikan mesinnya.
My last aspect is, should artificial intelligence decide over the fate of people? Some years ago I was in a conference in Ethiopia, and there was a Finnish colleague, and that Finnish colleague said to me, he was not a law expert, he said, Stefan, sorry, but in the future we will not need judges anymore. You are in the future not needed anymore. We will do all with artificial intelligence system. Artificial intelligence system will be the judges. In Indonesia, in Jakarta, I think in November, there will be a conference of notary about some plans of the government to implement artificial intelligence in the notary system. And many notaries are of the opinion this cannot be. Artificial intelligence cannot substitute human notaries, human lawyers, and human judges. In another conference in Jakarta, an Australian colleague said to me, in the future, Indonesia should be more effective in the University Pendidikan by implementing teachers, artificial intelligence teachers, to teach law. So now I ask you, do you want to be taught by computers or by human?
Human.
That is the same question I put, and my colleague was a little bit insulted by that. But indeed, why do you want to be taught by human and not by computer?
Because computer doesn't have its own.
Yeah.
Ada yang mau jawab?
Yeah,
Kasih dia.
yeah. Yeah, say it.
Itu ada yang mau
Just
jawab.
loud.
Oh ya, can you?
Can you tell me why? Yeah, scream. Yeah, maybe Michael.
If we listen the lecture from Mr. Stefan Koos about the artificial intelligence, maybe we know in the German television of critical theory like Frankfurt School and even Heidegger, the theory of technological ethics on philosophy.
Sorry, can you make the question later after the presentation? I just want to know why you don't want to be taught by computer professor.
No.
Okay, that's enough.
Why?
Yeah, you can present a question after the presentation.
Why?
Yeah. Why you don't want that?
Answer now.
I think when we teach by computer, it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, and I tell you, you will not learn the right values. I tell you why. See, there is a situation. Yeah, the situation is you have a little child. This child is totally innocent. This child is innocent, and someone tells you from above, you have the choice. You kill this child now, and you save 10,000 people. Or you kill this child not, and 10,000 people will die. What would you do? You say, you don't know, right? You cannot say that. I also cannot say that. Maybe you are a very cold-hearted person, and you say in that moment you're a logical person, and you say in that moment, totally logical. Yeah. I saved 10,000 people for one. Some things must be done. And then, maybe you decide that, and you see the child crying in front of you, looking at you with big eyes, and you say, actually it should be done, but I cannot. Yeah? Or you say, no question, of course I will save the poor child, because the poor child is innocent, and 10,000 people, I don't know. So it's not my business. Can be. But in the artificial intelligence, we will always know what it will do. It depending on the programming. The programming can say, always save the weaker. Then it will not kill the child and will kill the 10,000. Or the artificial intelligence program will say, be effective and save as much people as possible. Then it will not kill the child and save 10,000 people. But in any case, it is a soulless decision. And in any case, the artificial intelligence will not make a mistake. What will happen when you are a delinquent in front of a criminal court? You will murder someone, you go to the court has several options to sentence you to death, or to give you lifelong, or to give you 30 years or 20 years, depending on the conditions. And maybe the judge in that moment is very sleepy, and he did not sleep in the night, he has trouble with his wife, and I don't know what else, yeah? And maybe the court will make a decision which is not foreseeable. Maybe make a faulty decision, make a different decision that would be correct. Maybe the court decision is wrong. There is wrong decisions. Yeah? Around 2% of all delinquents in American jails are there because courts just decide wrong. Yeah.
Tadi, do you need microphone? I don't know. Kemudian pertanyaan berikutnya adalah apakah kecerdasan buatan bisa menentukan nasib manusia? Jadi pengalamannya Stefan Koos waktu di seminar di Ethiopia, dia ketemu seseorang, terus dia bilang suatu hari kamu tidak hakim, maksudnya dulu hakim you are criminal justice judge. Jadi dulu dia adalah seorang hakim di pengadilan pidana, terus dia bilang, si orang yang di Ethiopia bilang, suatu hari kamu tidak akan dibutuhkan karena kerjamu dan kerja hakim-hakim lain itu akan diganti dengan kecerdasan buatan, katanya begitu. Fakta ini juga kemudian merembet ke Indonesia, nanti akan ada conference sekitar bulan November di Jakarta, di situ akan membahas bagaimana kecerdasan buatan akan menggantikan kerja-kerja notaris, kerja-kerja hakim, begitu. Ya, terus dia tanya tadi, bahkan juga kerja dosen, aduh ampun saya kayaknya jadi bahkan kecerdasan buatan akan menggantikan kerja dosen. Terus tadi ditanya, mau tidak pada suatu titik diajari sama dosen, sama kecerdasan buatan, tapi jawabannya ada yang, jawabannya apa ya mas? Kemudian itu sulit untuk menentukan itu, karena contohnya seperti ini, misalnya kamu adalah kayak kasusnya Nabi Ibrahim itu ya, like in the Bible ya, like kasusnya Nabi Ibrahim misalnya yang dia disuruh bunuh satu orang untuk menyelamatkan 10.000 orang. Sebagai manusia apa yang akan kita lakukan? Kalau kamu logik sekali, katanya kamu mungkin akan memutuskan membunuh satu orang anak kecil untuk menyelamatkan 10.000 orang. Tapi pun akan ragu dengan keputusanmu ketika misalnya kamu lihat anak ini dengan mata bulatnya, wajah lucunya, memohon untuk tidak tega membunuhnya. Itu kalau manusia. Tapi kalau kecerdasan buatan tidak akan sesulit itu keputusannya. Kenapa? Karena tergantung pada programnya. Apa yang jadi program maka itu akan dia lakukan. Jadi keputusan-keputusan yang dibuat oleh AI itu dingin atau tidak berjiwa.
So dingin means soulless.
Soulless.
Yeah, soulless. So in my opinion, if we talk about this example of the judge is making mistakes because it's a human being. A judge can make mistakes to the positive and to the negative. That is our game. We are human beings because we are subject to decisions of other human beings. And our risk in the society is that we subject to mistakes of human beings. In the positive, sometimes we get more than we deserve. And in the negative, sometimes we get less than we deserve. But this is essence of the human existence in the society, to be subject to soul decisions which make mistake or not. So, for closing this, and because we cannot now enlighten all the constitutional things, we must say that human dignity says also the right of the human being to be not subject to soulless decisions, and it contains the right of the human being to be subject to human decisions which can be faulty. So this is why I think that artificial intelligence should not decide in this way, final way, over human beings. So it can be expert systems supporting decisions, but it cannot be the final decision to a human being. It's our right as human beings, in our human dignity, not to be subject to these decisions. And if we go to the teaching, you will be all person who apply the law to the society later. Or you are lawyers, notar, or judges, or in the administration. From your decisions, people will be dependent. So if we teach young experts in law just by computers or by artificial intelligence, where come your values from? The human values for executing the law in a human, flexible way can only be taught by a human and not by a cold machine. So I don't believe that it would be good to replace law teachers by machines. Maybe they can also support. But in any case, the decisions must be always stay with human beings. So I don't know if this is the future. Maybe this is not the future. Maybe it's just an appellation. Maybe it's just just a wish of me that this future will stay like this. What do I know what China does? China is monitoring every citizen in the future, giving points to every citizen, and this will be decided by computers also, I'm sure. Yeah, the computer will monitor you. If you're a Chinese citizen, yeah? And the United States and China have their reason why they did not accept this Vienna Convention, and they did not accept several things, because they want to implement that. Maybe we will not win with that. But I think as long as we have the power to decide about that, we should not accept that artificial intelligence decide about the lives of people.
Jadi hakim bisa saja membuat kesalahan karena dia juga manusia. Negatifnya adalah kadang-kadang kita divonis tidak sesuai dengan kesalahan kita atau vonisnya terlalu berat dibandingkan kesalahan kita. Tapi positifnya kadang-kadang kita menerima lebih dari yang kita pantas dapatkan. Tapi itulah esensi dari menjadi manusia. Maka hak asasi manusia adalah untuk dihakimi atau diputuskan oleh manusia lain lengkap dengan segala nilainya. Kita tidak boleh memberikan kesempatan kepada kecerdasan buatan yang tidak memegang nilai-nilai yang sama seperti manusia. Saya tidak tahu, katanya Prof. Koos, apakah situasi ini akan terjadi suatu hari di masa depan atau kayaknya cuma gambaran saya sendiri katanya. Tapi ya mungkin saja terjadi karena sekarang misalnya di Cina itu sudah mulai Cina memonitoring setiap warganya gitu, dan memberikan penilaian untuk setiap warganya berdasarkan program komputer tertentu. Itu kenapa Cina dan Amerika tidak ikut meratifikasi Vienna Convention yang soal mobil berkecerdasan buatan tadi. Karena pada titik tertentu mereka ingin ada kehidupan atau ada satu sisi kehidupan yang sepenuhnya terkendali oleh kecerdasan buatan. Tapi buat saya katanya kita tidak boleh memberi ruang terlalu besar bagi aktor-aktor hukum yang non manusia seperti kecerdasan buatan.
So coming back to the final question, what's about the moral agency of artificial intelligence, of that article in Jakarta Post? We must conclude that we should be more interdisciplinary. Yeah? Maybe this philosophical essay in the article should have been added by some legal and constitutional questions. Yeah? Just say there is a moral agent of AI. Is too easy, yeah, because it's very dangerous. If the National Socialist Germany had artificial intelligence, they would give this decision of killing whole parts of the society to these computer decisions, and who is guilty then? Yeah. So my conclusion is: be careful with that. We must be very aware of that, and if we go on with that development, then we will have a big problem if we are not prepared. So it is science fiction in a moment, but it can be soon more than science fiction, as we see in some genetical experiments. Also, it was science fiction 20 years ago, and nowadays we make cloning and I don't know what, and the law is not prepared.
Yes. Untuk membahas soal kecerdasan buatan, kita harusnya lebih interdisipliner, harus dibahas antar disiplin seperti itu, supaya misalnya mulai dari ahli peraturan perundang-undangan, ahli biologi, ahli genetik dan seterusnya. Karena bahayanya untuk memberikan status subjek hukum kepada AI ini bisa kita bayangkan seumpama Nazi, itu dia punya alat kecerdasan buatan, terus kecerdasan buatan yang memutuskan bahwa dia harus membunuh sekian ribu orang, maka siapa yang harus dibebankan tanggung jawab atas perilaku si kecerdasan buatan tersebut?
Question and answer. Please one by one. I always forget the questions.
Baik, Bapak Ibu yang sangat terpelajar, kita sampai kepada sesi tanya jawab. Saya akan memberikan waktu dan kesempatan untuk bertanya. Mungkin untuk awalnya 2 orang, tapi dia maunya jawabnya satu-satu karena suka lupa pertanyaan katanya. Boleh, lady first.
Ladies first.
Oh, you're a lady? Oh, ntar dulu yang this section for lady, not Bu Erlis.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh yeah.
Oh ya, Bu Erlis ya. Baru ke Bapak ya. Maaf.
Thank you for the opportunity for doing and Professor Stefan. I have watched a serial also. The name of serial is Person of Interest that Intelligence. In that movie, in that serial, the technology is very advanced, so they can produce that artificial intelligence that have sense, feeling, emotion through the experience of the owner of the artificial intelligence. My question is, I'm curious, like if someday, I don't know when people in the world accept artificial intelligence as the legal subject. So how law adapt? How we regulate the artificial intelligence? What terms that we have to regulate about the artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Yeah.
It's working.
Hello.
It's working. This one.
Yeah. Hello. Interesting, because this is of course a science fiction, and it is not clear that we ever have emotion. Even if it's strong, there is a lot of publications on that. Even if strong artificial intelligence can be developed, it is not sure if it will think like humans. It can be that there's a totally different way of thinking. If it's thinking like humans and having really emotions, then it's very dangerous, because emotion means fear and be afraid. And if it's afraid, then it can be afraid of being switched off. And it be afraid of switched off, then it be afraid of us, and then it will maybe fight against us. So we should not develop that measure. Yeah? So, but the question has also a pragmatical background, because how the law should react to more independence of artificial intelligence. We have already the question of contracts done by machines. Contracts done by machines. We have already a discussion on, can machine done works or machine done artworks, can there be who has the copyright for that? Yeah, is there creativity of computers already? Yeah, is this and especially in the contract situation, we need maybe new terms. I mean, the contract is done by will, and the will is something human. So if we accept that machines autonomous buy things, there is already buying programs in supermarkets who buy products themselves, and machines can negotiate. If we accept they negotiate, and then we must accept contracts, but we cannot do that with our categories of contracts. So we make the category by interpretation wider of the contract and of the will of contract, the contractual will, or we must have a separate contract law for automatized programs. Yeah, this is in discussion, and this is very realistic, because it can be very, very soon. As I say, we have already antitrust problems by agreements of machines under each other, where there's no human being involved. So we have crashes, stock market crash, because machines decide to sell all at once. There is something happened, and the machine decide sell all the stocks, all the shares, and then market go down because of machine decisions. So this will implement. We need a discussion on: do we need a new contract law with new terms and new categories, or can we interpret the contract law in the way that we can make it wider to that?
Second question.
Ya. Bisa pakai bahasa Indonesia? Soalnya cinta Indonesia. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya ingin bertanya mengenai artificial intelligence ini. Memang salah satu ciri daripada revolusi industri 4.0 itu bagaimana artificial intelligence ini mempengaruhi kehidupan manusia. Tapi saya tidak mempersalahkan mengenai apakah artificial intelligence ini sebagai subjek hukum atau tidak, karena saya sepakat dengan Prof. Stefan Koos mengatakan bahwa memang artificial intelligence ini bukan merupakan entitas moral, melainkan entitas etnis. Misalnya dia membunuh, dia mencuri, itu bukan kehendaknya sendiri, tetapi diberikan program gitu. Tapi yang ingin saya tanyakan di sini mengenai pertanggungjawaban criminal liability. Mungkin ini akan menjadi tesis saya nanti. Saya sedang menggagas ini juga mengenai pertanggungjawaban robot ini di era revolusi penjara. Ya, di dalam tulisan saya sekarang ini saya menggunakan mungkin Prof. Stefan Koos juga mengetahui mengenai kausalitas teori. Jadi kausalitas teori ini dulu memang dicetuskan oleh von Bury pertama kali kondisi of quantum teorinya. Tapi sekarang tidak sesuai teori itu, diganti dengan teori abekua. Nah, jadi dalam tulisan saya itu insya Allah akan menjadi tesis. Saya menarik kembali teori itu, kondisi sine qua non. Jadi pada intinya teori itu kan dia menarik semua sebab dari timbulnya akibat. Dan itulah yang akan ditarik sebagai penyebab timbulnya delik. Contohnya ini, saya membunuh pakai pisau. Kemudian orang yang membuat pisau pun akan dimintai pertanggungjawaban. Jadi dalam hal ini ketika robot melakukan delik, jadi siapa yang membuat, kemudian siapa pengusaha yang menggunakan jasa robot, nah itulah menurut saya dapat diminta pertanggungjawaban apabila dia memiliki kesalahan dia untuk melakukan tindak pidana itu. Jadi saya ingin minta pendapat Prof. Bagaimana tanggapan Prof? Bagaimana sistem pertanggungjawaban teori apa yang digunakan untuk diminta pertanggungjawaban terhadap robot ini? Terima kasih. Ya, pertanggungjawaban pidana apakah yang membuat atau dan sebagainya. Terima kasih.
Is the question about artificial intelligence as legal entities? You would like to ask for your opinion in the criminal law field. What because he interesting. What about the criminal responsibility of this artificial intelligence if it made mistake, penal mistake? What he used before, he used the casualty theory in his thesis, and this word about it and then now he changed the theory adequate, which means that if I kill someone with a knife, the one who also make the knife should co-responsible with his murder. In the context of AI, could we ask for the responsibility of the maker or for the, let's say, programmer of the AI?
Yeah, the adequance theory I know from in another surrounding, because we combine adequance and equivalence theory. So this is not what you mean, right? You mean this agents theory, also actually like causa and these things. Yeah. So okay. First of all, the artificial intelligence itself, of course, cannot be responsible because it has no moral, and without moral acting, it cannot act in the way that it is interesting for the criminal law itself. So, criminal law has not only the purpose of prevention, that may be possible with certain algorithm, but it has also the purpose to make the individual to be afraid of doing it again, yeah, and also to have a moral impact on the person. This is for artificial intelligence as we can think it of not possible. So the only way, and this is maybe that what you of course aim to, is sort of can we get some agent, the user or the producer, responsible in the criminal way. This is difficult. You cannot, in the German criminal law, the maker of the knife is not responsible. There are certain theories what you can do. For example, if you pack a knife in your pocket and you know that someone will provocate you, and then you use this knife to kill him, then you prepare yourself for using this knife. But you cannot make the producer of the knife responsible in a criminal way for the action someone did with it.
Not the producer, but user.
Yeah, but this is also for the producer. For the user of the artificial intelligence, it depends how much influence the user has to the system. So this is what the same problem we have in the tort law. The same, but this is what I mentioned with the car. If the user is able to overrule the artificial intelligence, then it is still possible that the user is negligent in case of some damage. And the same happens, of course, then to the criminal law. If something happens, which is criminal delict, some body is hurt by action of RE, by car or whatever, then and the user can control it, and the user had the duty to control it and to stop that, then you can make the user responsible. If there is no way to stop that, because the artificial intelligence is so developed that it cannot be overruled by the human being, then in my personal opinion and in the opinion of constitution law, then we have no responsibility, because you can only have criminal responsibility if you have the power to do something, right? So this is in criminal law not possible, and I doubt that it is necessary in criminal law, because for that the tort law and the civil law would be enough. It would be enough to make an agent liability for the user as using a dangerous item in the traffic or in the society which makes a damage, and let him be liable for that. Criminal law is not valuable in cases where it cannot lead to a change of behavior of the one who is the criminal delinquent. So if I have not the power to change the decision of the RE, how can the criminal law change my behavior? It cannot. So criminal law is not the right instrument for that. As long as there is power to control the RE by the user, as long as I have the choice, it can be that there is negligence, but this is not so easy to decide is there negligence or not. Because it can be that there are standard decisions of the RE and a normal person cannot understand that. See a car. You drive a car with an autonomous system. How will you understand the decisions of the computer if you're not a programmer? Yeah? You already don't understand what's going on in your phone, right? So how can you be responsible? This is why I start with the producer. It is rather interesting to make a programmer responsible, also in the negligence, maybe criminal law, for mistakes done in the programming, but even that is difficult, because the programming is not foreseeable. We see a lot of mistakes in programming, and later, after 2 or 3 years, see all these security gaps in Android or in iOS. Yeah, the programmer cannot know the security gaps. They program it, the product is there, and after 3 or 4 or 5 years, we notice, oh, there is some hackers using a gap. Are they responsible for the damage in criminal law? I doubt that. So the criminal law, in my opinion, my personal opinion, is not the adequate instrument for that. It is rather a problem of the tort law in the civil law.
Jadi intinya menurut Profesor Stefan Koos adalah hukum pidana bukan instrumen yang tepat untuk menindak atau mengambil keputusan terkait dengan eksistensi AI ini. Kenapa? Karena hukum pidana itu lebih kepada penindakan bukan pencegahan. Gitu. Jadi hukum pidana digunakan untuk merubah perilaku di dalam masyarakat. Bagaimana kita menghukum AI kemudian berubah perilaku kecerdasan buatan itu? Dan contoh yang Anda kasih tadi agak kurang relevan, karena di Jerman kita tidak menghukum pembuat pisau karena dia bikin pisau yang akhirnya digunakan untuk membunuh orang, itu tidak begitu katanya gitu, karena ada hal-hal yang di luar itu pengaruh-pengaruh lain gitu ya, yang selain soal pisau tadi. Jadi pertanggungjawaban pidana menurut Profesor Stefan Koos hanya bisa dimintakan hanya ketika orang itu bertanggung jawab, si entitas hukum itu punya kendali atas apa yang dilakukannya. Bahkan dalam kasus programmer sendiri kita mungkin sulit untuk memintakan tanggung jawab pidananya. Program, kalau misalnya Anda punya handphone gitu ya, Android atau ditanamkan iOS gitu kan, hari ini dia tidak sempurna, tidak ada celah dalam keamanannya. Tapi pada suatu hari kemudian ada celah yang digunakan oleh hacker untuk melakukan tindakan pidana. Apakah kemudian kita akan menuntut si programmer tersebut? Karena ketika dia menciptakan itu tidak ada celah dan sudah diuji, tapi 2-3 tahun kemudian ketemu celahnya. Tentu juga tidak bisa dan sulit untuk memintakan pertanggungjawaban bahkan kepada programmer si komputer cerdas itu sendiri.
The most important is that criminal law only works if it helps to change the behavior of the delinquent. Yeah. And if you use RE systems and you cannot change it, then it's worthless. Yeah. I cannot force you to be, I don't know, I cannot force you to be an American, right? And make you criminal for not want to be an American, because you cannot be an American. You are an Indonesian. And the same happens. If I cannot change the behavior, what can I do? How can I change? What should the criminal law do here? What should the criminal law cause? So this is not the point, right?
Jadi yang paling penting hukum pidana digunakan untuk mengubah perilaku, gitu, pelakunya. Jadi kita tinggal ukur aja gitu. Hukum pidana ini berhasil tidak mengubah perilaku. Jika dia tidak, maka dia jadi tidak berharga gitu. Dan itu dalam kasus kecerdasan buatan.
Okay,
Yes, please, next question. Thank you. Banyak, ya Mbak.
next question.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say thank you, Professor, for the opportunity. So, we already met this morning, but I will introduce myself again. My name is Fatima. I'm a law student, Master of Notarial, second year, and now I'm doing research about cyber notary with title "The Role of the Notary Public as a Cyber Notary in the Face of the Industrial Revolution Era 4.0." And in my research, in my thesis now, I agree with technology. I agree if technology can help notary for doing their job. But when you say that maybe someday robot or artificial intelligence can replace or take the position of notary, it's become a biggest fear for me as a future notary. Not only me, maybe, but everyone law student. In this status, one of my interviews, a legal expert and also a professional lawyer from Turkey, Mr. Ozan Mefondes, he said, "I believe that cyber notary is a very usable and practical service that makes save time and effort for many people. The world is moving away from traditional handwritten signature concept, and electronic documents are a very convenient way of conducting business over long distance and saving time. I believe that in this age of technology, the role of traditional notary is also slowly fading. As people move away from traditional signed documents and move towards electronic documents, the practicality of traditional notaries will decrease. Cyber notaries will be a good idea to adapt to the age of technology." So, my question is, as a law student, as a young generation, and also as a future notary, how we can face, how we can deal with artificial intelligence if maybe they can take over our job as a notary? That's all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, actually we have not so many opportunities. Yeah, if something takes over, this is unfortunately the fate of so many professions. Yeah, so we have always disruptive change, and I don't speak about notary, but if we take robots and automatization, then I mean, if we talk about Trump's plans to make America great again, what will happen? The American workers will not work themselves for the price of Chinese workers. So what the companies do, if they were forced to go back to the United States, they will automize. And then the robots will take over, and then the American voters who vote for Trump will be without employment, yeah? And they cannot do anything against that. But I think it's not that far already. So what you say here is cyber notary. Cyber notary is more or less making certificates and making signing online and making it easier for the people not to be in person in front of the notary and these things. This is a little bit something different because we still need you, whether you are in your office and accept electronic documents or not. We still need your decision. We still needed your advice, and it still needed the flexibility of the human brain. So I personally doubt that we are facing this in the next 30 years, that we are totally replaced as law as experts. Because, as I say, applying law is more than applying the letters of the rules. Yeah, applying law is much more. Applying law means you must apply the law also in the situation. The legislator, for example, from the Dutch civil code, could not foresee all these disruptive technologies we have nowadays. And nevertheless, we work in Germany, for example, with the law from 1900, and we handle computer-generated and internet contracts, and we handle modern contracts coming from the United States in the 70s to us. So what it means is the law is very flexible. Why it is so flexible? Because there is open clauses like good morals, which is very open for adapting the law. The judge must adapt the law maybe to new situations. There is interpretation, teleological interpretation, and so on. This cannot be done by machines. So in a reasonable law system, legal system, in the next future, we will not have replacement of that. What I believe is cyber notary, also the paperless office, also authorities which accept applications online, which is in the European Union, for example, Lithuania and Estonia especially, it's all online nowadays. But this does not mean that the human being is replaced.
Jadi intinya mungkin masih jauh, sampai 30 tahun ke depan pun sepertinya tidak akan terganti notaris dengan mesin misalnya gitu. Jadi kita masih akan membutuhkan notaris yang banyak, karena menerapkan hukum tidak sama dengan menerapkan apa bunyinya di tulisan saja, tapi lebih kepada mengikuti situasi-situasi tertentu. Tapi mungkin kalau yang serba online ya.
But of course we must be prepared. Yeah? We must discuss that already. Because we cannot wait until it starts and it comes from China or from the United States, and then we are not asked anymore. I mean, what happened if the Americans and the Chinese accept free autonomous driving without human being? What happened? I mean, it's a big market. So we want to be in that market, so we will produce these products also. Yeah. And how long Indonesia, even if you don't want to have that, how long Germany or European Union even can stay a part of that? How long can we stay a part of cloning if, I don't know, Brazil, Israel, China is cloning human beings? Yeah? Even if Germany says this is not ethical, how long can we wait? Because there is the world market, and the world market will maybe force us. So we should be prepared to know what we want to accept in the future ethically, or what we don't want to accept. If we're not prepared, and we don't discuss that now before it starts, then it will overrun us.
Okay. Last but not least, mungkin ada satu pertanyaan terakhir.
He already asked.
Iya, yang tadi betul. Silakan. Iya.
Bahasa apa sih? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Stefan Koos for the lecture this afternoon. If we talk about the artificial intelligence, so we talk about the technology. In my book, the Max Lauta Critic to Cyberspace, I have written a book titled The Max Lauta Critic. He is the professor from America, the Columbia University, and I study about it. I approached about the cyberspace 10 years ago. Then there are three type of mankind when they see the technology. First, there is the dystopianism, two, technorialism, and three, the futurism. If we talk about futuristic, like that. If we talk about the three opinions of how to see the technology, or in this matter AI or artificial intelligence. So I think we bet that human being or humankind, mankind is almost on us is techno-realism. Realist is a realist to the technology. Technology is something can help us to do something. And if we back the German philosopher like Heidegger, the pioneer of technological ethics or philosophy, he talked about the non-neutralism of technology. The non-neutrality. I'm sorry, maybe you know non-neutrality of technology. If we talk about this AI, so the position of technology or AI is only helping, not make the habit of human, not make the manner of human, etc. etc. I think like that. So if we talk, if we say that maybe 30 years later, maybe we can see how can technology change our life. But in the ethics matter, in ethical, the AI cannot help us. So that is the legal subject is only human, not the technology or AI. I hope you can understand what I say, because my English not so good.
No, it's good enough. It's good enough to understand. Thank you very much. And actually, this is the you give me the help to explain why I say at least in the reality theory the artificial intelligence cannot be personified. If we want to personify it, we can only use it by means of fiction, right? Because we cannot say there is anything ethically similar to human or to animal or to everything natural, yeah, naturalism. Or we use a pragmatic way to use it just for as a limited means of company law, yeah, to have an entity for liability or so. This has nothing to do with ethics. So, but I doubt. I mean, I don't know what is your conclusion in your book, but I'm a little bit pessimistic about the separation between natural and technology. We have now already the tendency that the human being is combining itself with technology. I mean, we have Internet of Things, the wearables. Soon we have maybe contact lenses with little computers in it, and then we will have implantants. We already have experiments of making blind people see again by using microchips into the brain, and so on and so on. So more and more, this is of course has nothing to do with law now, yeah, but more and more I have the impression we combine our body with technology. And if you are interested in science fiction, then you know, of course, Star Trek, and then you know the Borg, yeah. The Borg are this kind of chimera, yeah, mixture between technic and human. So I'm afraid that this clear separation between this will not, maybe in 100 years we will not talk about that anymore. That will be done. It's a dystopy for me. It's a dystopy, not a utopia, yeah? Because it is not good. And if that happens, then I'm sure we will not talk about human dignity anymore. That will be obsolete. No one will be interested in that. Because with human dignity and with our constitutional thinking nowadays and our ethical thinking, and if you're right, we must stay and must keep that clearly separated. Even in Isaac Asimov utopia, there were computer law, computer rules. The computer had an own ethic, an own rule, yeah, to follow, and it was always separate from the human being. It was never treated same like the human being. Yeah? This is the science fiction, and if we lose this way, then we have a dystopia. Yeah? So I agree with you. We should, and this is good that you write something like this. This is good that we always make clear that human dignity cannot be together with a mixture of naturalism, of nature and technology. Technology can only be a means of help.
Jelas ya?
Jelas sudah.
Ya, jadi makin dulu pemisahan antara manusia dengan teknologi, karena semakin kesini manusia semakin mengidentikan dirinya, membaur-baurkan dirinya dengan teknologi, misalnya dengan cyborg, aliran work, alat-alat yang membantu kehidupan kayak orang muda bisa melihat lagi karena ditanamkan di kepalanya dan seterusnya. Jadi walaupun begitu, tapi jelas bahwa tidak akan pernah manusia disamakan dengan komputer misalnya. Walaupun sudah lahir ada namanya hukum komputer dan seterusnya. We get into the last section, conclusion. Maybe Professor Koos will give us a brief conclusion about what we have today.
You mean about my presentation? I think it's very clear what I said. The dystopy is maybe the conclusion. Yeah, that we should be very careful what we accept. But I'm also very pessimistic. This is also my conclusion. I'm not really optimistic because I think we have not the power. Not even national states have the power to exclude themselves from that, because we are always interacting with other societies, and some people say we have not the American age is over, the Western age is over, and we get now the Chinese age. The Western age is maybe not your culture, yeah, because you have not the Western culture, but at least the Western culture is at least also protecting this human dignity thinking. So because in Europe we don't want that dystopy, but the Chinese are very they are very decided to develop that, and if we get really the Chinese age and the Chinese develop this controlling of the citizen by means of computers and so on, then we will not be able to force against that. So let's hope that in 30 years we are still human. Yeah. Thank you very much for your attention.
Jadi kesimpulannya adalah bahwa dia agak optimistis soal menghindari pengakuan si artificial intelligence ini sebagai salah satu entitas hukum. Kenapa? Karena kita makin dekat kepada era itu. Eranya Barat, eranya Amerika sudah berakhir. Sekarang kita masuk kepada eranya Cina. Kalau kata dia, walaupun Barat bukan budaya kita, tapi paling tidak Barat seperti Jerman dan Amerika itu melindungi hak asasi manusia atau hak dirinya manusia. Tapi coba lihat Cina, dia bahkan berusaha mengontrol setiap biji warga negaranya. Itu katanya. Jadi saya tidak yakin 30 tahun ke depan kita masih manusia utuh atau bukan. Itu kesimpulannya perkara ini. Bapak Ibu, terima kasih atas kehadiran Anda. Semoga bermanfaat untuk kita semua. Kita tutup dengan sama-sama mengucapkan